Right, listen up everyone. They've announced that the technical regulations are changing for next season. Now there's a risk a lot of our hard work could be undone if we're not careful. So let's figure out how to mitigate this. Drivers, take a look at the developments we have and let us know what you want to invest in protecting. Alright everyone, let's get on top of this.
Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 16 of the F1 2019 Haas Road to Glory career mode, where today we're here for the Russian Grand Prix, and as you guys will have seen at the start of this video, we have got some rule changes confirmed for Season 2 of the F1 2019 World Championship. As you can see, just a quick look at the development comparison there. Really starting to struggle at this late point of the season, and I'll be honest, I'll sort of talk about this throughout a lot of the video, but yeah, for Season 2 we have got some engine changes coming into Formula 1. The prediction that went out at Monza was correct, so quite intrigued to see how we're going to fare next season, and instantly just sorting out the one upgrade we put on the engine so far in this World Championship. Yeah, but hopefully, you know, as we move into Season 2, we can make a bit more progress with that one there. But yeah, happy that, you know, now that's finalised, we know what's going on, ready for Season 2. Really looking forward to it. And like I said, you know, really started to stagnate with the upgrades as well. I think I've finally worked out what is wrong with F1 2019, with this car, sorry, I should say. It's nothing wrong with F1 2019 itself, it is just this car. I think I've narrowed down its weakness at this point. Now, this was always something that I knew would be a bit of a struggle on F1 2019 with Haas. You know, in the past, obviously, I've gone with teams like Williams, everything like that. And Williams, you know, it was clear what they struggled with. It was aerodynamics and chassis. Haas haven't really had a weakness, per se, but just haven't had a strength either. And that's been a bit of an issue so far this season. As you can see, we're about middle of the road in everything, which is very frustrating. But I think as we head into Season 2, I know what we need to focus on. F1 2019, and this is something that I'll tell you guys as well, is proving to be engine important. Very much is a power-orientated game, I've come to learn. So sadly, we can't really do much with that at the moment with the rule changes coming in. So I think we're just going to have to start saving up performance points and using them ready for Season 2. But anyway, let's jump on then into the Russian Grand Prix. It's time for quali.
Welcome back to Sochi. We're about to be joining the action down in the pit lane as the cars get ready to embark on their qualifying runs. Now then, Anthony Davidson, you're not getting any younger, but you have been involved in your fair share of qualifying sessions in an illustrious 30-year career. How do you deal with the pressure when you have that one chance to deliver a perfect lap?
It's not so much about dealing with the pressure, it's more about how you approach the risk and just how much of it are you willing to take. You're constantly balancing the car on the edge of grip from braking, cornering and traction. And over the course of a lap, it's easy to get that balance wrong. And that's why achieving the perfect lap is almost impossible. As you say, I've been doing this 30 years now, and it never gets any easier.
So here we are then, ready for qualifying at the Russian Grand Prix, and quite looking forward to this one on the whole. As you can see, actually setting our first time in Q1, and as you'd probably, well, as at least I'd hope to expect in Q1, you know, get through quite easily there, up in P6 at the end of the session. But as we came then onto our Q2 run, you can see usually this one's a little bit tighter. Sometimes we make it through, sometimes we don't there as we head in towards the final couple of corners of the lap. And overall, it's been an okay lap, you know, so far. No big mistakes, nothing particularly at this world either, you know. So as we come in towards the final couple of corners, we are looking hopefully to try and improve as we head through. See, we have only got one lap to do this here as we head through the final corner and down towards the start finish line. It's going to be a 1 minute 33.199 there. So as you can see at this late stage of the session, down in P8, right on the cusp of really of making it through into Q3, and we'll have to wait and see as to whether anyone else can make progress at this late stage of the session here. As we can see, heading back into the pit lane now, we're right on P10, and we are out of Q2 of the Russian Grand Prix. They're right at the very end of the session. I think it was Devon Butler went through and knocked me out. They're gutted with that one. They're just to miss out on Q3 at the end of the day. But like I always say, you know, when we end up a little bit lower down the grid than we would have liked, qualifying doesn't give you points. It is all about the race. And as we've seen a few times in the past, P11 sometimes is a bit of a golden opportunity in these Grand Prix. They're not quite where I want to be, but let's jump on then into the Russian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon from Sochi as we prepare to get underway for the Russian Grand Prix. The championship battle has some time to go yet, but still expect no quarter to be given here on this circuit that made its debut in 2014 and has already seen some classic racing. Situated just 3 miles from the Georgian border, the 3.6 mile Sochi Autodrome has 2 notable overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and then turn 13. 18 corners in total here, 12 to the right and 6 to the left, and it's an average lap speed of around 130 miles per hour. Alongside me once again for coverage of today's race, it's none other than the great Anthony Davidson. I think we should begin by discussing Daniel Kvyat. They've had to change their gearbox. It's never a good start to a Grand Prix when right off the bat you have to contend with a grid penalty.
Fingers crossed that's one failure they won't have to worry about today at least. There's not much of a silver lining to starting down the field with a penalty, but I think they'll be able to make some of that back up over the course of the race.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, and Gasly, Butler, Hülkenberg, Weber, and Mr. Monaco, Kubica, Russell, Kimi Raikkonen, and Grosjean. Sainz, Perez, Lando Norris, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Albon, and Daniel Kvyat completes the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, let's be patient going into turn 1. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck.
So here we are then, ready for the Russian Grand Prix, and like I said, you know, sort of want to try and jump into these races a little bit quicker at the moment. I know there was always quite a bit of fluff at the start of these videos, so hopefully you guys like this new style a little bit more. But here we are then on the grid, ready for the Russian Grand Prix. It is 5 nights here in Sochi, and it is finally lights out, and away we go there, and that has been a horrendous start for myself there. Both the Williams going to fly straight past me on the run towards come on there. Kimi Raikkonen as well gives me a bit of contact as he flies past. We've got Carlos Sainz as well as Sergio Perez, who had that grid place drop, and he's already back up past me there as we head in towards turn 1 and turn 2. Then we're going to get sandwiched between the Alfa Romeo of Giovinazzi and Sainz there as well there. Luckily they actually came out on top, but that was all the way down to P14 off the start of this Grand Prix then. Certainly not the start we would have wanted in this Grand Prix there, as Sergio Perez and Kimi Raikkonen just Constantine are up just a little bit in front of me there. We try to get back at the inside of Raikkonen, but I know starts are certainly not our strong point so far in this career, but I don't think we've had many that have been that bad there as we hang Raikkonen out to dry as we head in towards the second sector of the lap there. Yeah, that has not been the start to this Grand Prix that we needed there, and now we're really going to have to try and focus on building up the pace and building up, trying to get back through the field once again. And I know I'd probably sound like a broken record at this point, but I say so often how critical it is to be aggressive off the starts of these Grand Prix, because the AI can really sort of spread out very quickly in these races there, and that's what I need to do, try and turn it up to 11 in the early stages. You can see already trying to line up a move back up the inside of Sergio Perez as we head towards the end of the back straightaway here. Got very aggressive there, hanging right out to dry. We barely kept it in between the white lines as we head in towards the final sector of the lap, but we did move back up into P12 of this Grand Prix, and as you can see, heading on a couple of laps later now, trying to apply the pressure to Robert Kubica here in the Williams. And well, I've said it again, I sound like a broken record, but what a resurgence it has been from Williams in this World Championship there. Up the inside though of Robert Kubica, he's going to be able to hang it back around the outside. We're going to try and go for a bit of a cheeky switchback move as we head in towards the final few corners of this lap. Still side by side, they're almost a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between the pair of us, and once again the switchback. We are really having to work for this one. They're up the inside though of the Williams there, side by side in towards the final couple of corners, and yes, we do finally make that move work. And really, I'll be honest, when that one happened, I was really happy with myself. It probably doesn't look as impressive on the, you know, sort of on the footage, but to me, yeah, that was a really, I was so happy that I managed to make that one work. Just so many switchbacks on the Williams car there, and as we now head on one lap later, all over the back now of Weber here as we head in towards the final couple of corners of lap 4 here. And are we going to try and go for the same sort of move this time around? We cannot get the car up the inside of Lucas here, and I've noticed I've kept calling him Marcus. It is Lucas I don't know why I've been calling them markers, but I have been there as we head in towards the final couple of corners though. And once again, are we going to be able to try the same sort of thing? No, he parks it on the apex there. We're going to go side by side in towards the final couple of corners there. Weber plays it defensive there, and this time around just gives himself a horrible run in towards the penultimate corner there, side by side through the final corner. And we do move ourselves up now into the points and up into P10 of the Russian Grand Prix here. So making good progress in the early stages, but look now, Robert Kubica was trying to line up a bit of a move there, and he did move up the inside of Lucas Weber there as we head towards the end of lap 7 now, and trying to apply the pressure to George Russell and Nico Hülkenberg at this stage of the day there. Lap 8 of the Grand Prix, and just look at how strong this Williams car is down the straightaways. And this is something that, you know, I said at the start of the video, we need to really focus on the engine as we head into Season 2. Ferrari, although in real life it's a bit strange, it looks like Ferrari have got a bit of a stronger straight line setup. Obviously that is usually down to the engine. F1 2019 doesn't seem to think the power units are still as strong as the Mercedes, which is very, very frustrating for myself at the end of the day there. At the end of lap 9, you can see, talking about Ferrari there, and Charles Leclerc is out of this Grand Prix. The heartbreak for him there. His title chances were starting to slim anyway at this late stage of the season there, but that's certainly not going to help him as we head in towards the final 6 rounds of the F1 2019 World Championship there. And yeah, Ferrari, that's not going to be good for their constructors' hopes either. It's looking very, very tight still between them and Mercedes as we head in towards the final couple of rounds of the season there. Yeah, not what the result they would have wanted at the end of the day there. But now heading on to lap 10, you can see still all over the back of George Russell and Nico Hülkenberg here, but nothing we could do to try and close up to the rear of the Williams with the Force India there just in front, giving him the slipstream. You can see nothing we can do down the straightaways. And yeah, we really need to focus on some engine upgrades as we head in towards Season 2. I think I've learned that now, though. But Hülkenberg coming through turn 3, all the time you have to lever the space, mate. Not too sure what that one was all about. Gave me a squeeze right over the curbs there. I'm really not happy with that one there by Nico. As you can see, heading in towards the second sector of the lap here. And we're going to try and go very, very aggressive on the racing point here, because we're going to hang him out straight, almost put him right out over the curbs on the exit of the corner there. And yeah, we now move ourselves up into P7, giving Hülkenberg a bit of a taste of his own medicine there. Really not happy with that one, the squeeze from the racing point there. As now end of lap 11, we do head in for our first pit stop of the day there. George Russell very, very slow as we enter the pit lane, and somehow we get away with speeding in the pit lane. Not too sure how. I know on F1 2018, if you did 50 miles an hour into a pit lane, you would sometimes get done for speeding in the pit lane. This time around, though, nothing of the sort. 39 miles an hour on entry. I think it dropped down to 38. We got away with it, and a nice clean pit stop as well to add to our happiness from this pit lane. And it looks like we've actually nailed a pit stop for the first time in a very, very long time in this career mode there. You can see exiting out of the pit lane there, we've jumped Hülkenberg and George Russell there. So really, really happy with that one. You can see as we head out of the pit lane, Sergio Perez as well is going to be able to make the undercut work on the rest of them there, but not on myself there. So that has been an absolutely critical pit stop for ourselves in this Grand Prix there. I'm really happy with that one there. As we head on to the next couple of laps, though, obviously now the pit stop window starting to take effect. You know, everyone's just reshuffling back into the positions that you would expect here as we head through the final couple of corners of lap 12 there. You can see Grosjean and Norris there all diving into the pit lane, as well as Robert Kubica going to be back up to P7 here. Raikkonen still the one man yet to make his pit stop here, so by the end of lap 13 there he would obviously dive it in, and we would now be up to P6 of this Grand Prix, obviously behind the top 6, but obviously Charles Leclerc out of this Grand Prix there. Effectively meant that, yeah, we were going to be best of the rest at this stage of the race once again here, and this was really good for myself, but also sadly really lonely for myself in the latter stages of this Grand Prix. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I know we had to do this at Monza as well. Nothing happened. We had a proper real life F1 2019 Grand Prix. I know we often see action and fireworks in this series, you know, last lap overtakes like we had sort of the halfway stage of this season. The Russian Grand Prix not looking like it was going to have any of that, sadly, at the end of the day. As you can see, skipping all the way onto lap 24, and the gap to Gasly had just been going up just a little bit every single lap. Probably the most annoying possible way you can have a second half to a Formula 1 Grand Prix, because it wasn't looking like I could try and hype it up like we would potentially line up a move. We were trying to close in. Nope. Gasly would just have a tiny bit of a pace advantage, sadly, and as we head in towards the final few laps, we really just sort of wind the car down and try to bring it home there. Sadly as well, behind no pressure as the Force Indias and the Williams really just started to trip over each other there. So yeah, a bit disappointed with that one at the end of the day there. But yeah, like I say, obviously I don't try and sugarcoat these. I don't try to edit them so we get crazy races either at the end of the day. You know, we did what we do in real life. You know, if you were given an opportunity to get P6 in the Haas, you would take it, whether it was a lonely race or the most climactic race in the world there. But through the final couple of corners then of the Russian Grand Prix, like I said, a bit of an apology that it is such a calm end to this Grand Prix. There's not too much action over the course of the whole race there. Hamilton comes through for the win, but it's going to be 8 valuable points there at the end of the day. I'm really still happy with that result.
You did really well. Super driving.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. And now let's take a look at the driver's standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Well, you can't fault anything that Sergio Perez did out on the track today. He drove flawlessly, making him an easy pick.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So there we are then, guys. At the end of the day, Lewis Hamilton does come through for the race victory, further extending his World Championship lead there over Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas there. Verstappen comes through for P4, Gasly and myself in a bit of no man's land in 5th and 6th there ahead of Russell, Perez, Hulkenberg and Kubica there. Weber, Butler, Norris, Giovinazzi, Grosjean, Kvyat, Albon and Sainz round out the finishes there, with Raikkonen and Charles Leclerc both not making it through to the end of the race there. But yeah, like I said, a bit of an apology that it was such a dead second half to that race. Sadly, yeah, we got a proper real life. Well, I mean, it was like the Russian Grand Prix, a couple of seasons back where, yeah, we saw absolutely nothing in the end there. In terms of the Drivers' World Championship, Hulkenberg there with those good points now jumps my teammate Grosjean and Kimi Raikkonen. They're all now tied on 13 points as we head in towards the final 5 races of the season. And it is now down to just 5 cars that can win this World Championship here. Max Verstappen is one of the last guys yet still in the World Championship fight. But Hamilton now got a 1 race margin over Sebastian Vettel as well. This is proving absolutely critical for him at this late stage of the World Championship. Consistency will be key, but Hamilton is looking strong as we head into the final few rounds of the season. And I think, honestly, for the first time this season as well, Mercedes jumped to the top of the Constructors' World Championship as well. They're 9 points now clear of Ferrari after that retirement. Are we going to see some traditional Ferrari bottles as we head into the final few rounds of the World Championship? Only time will tell. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Like I said, a bit of an apology at the end of the day, but hopefully I will see you guys next time for the Japanese Grand Prix. I can confirm it is a lot more exciting than the last couple of races.
I'm sure